Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you a tour of my desk setup where I spent countless hours editing and running my business on. It hasn't changed drastically since the last time I made a video back in the beginning of 2025, but there are definitely a few additions and small upgrades that I want to share. Starting off with the desk, I'm still using the FlexiSpot E7 Pro electro-standing desk with the white frame and white tabletop. Honestly, this desk has been rock solid ever since I got it. It's incredibly stable even with all my gear mounted on it, and it supports up to 440 pounds, which is way more than I'll probably ever need. One of the biggest reasons I still use this desk is the flexibility of being able to switch between sitting and standing throughout the day. When you spend hours editing videos or working at a computer, being able to change positions really helps reduce fatigue. I'm currently using the 55-inch by 28-inch laminate tabletop, but I eventually do want to upgrade to the larger 72-inch version, but for now this size gives me plenty of room for everything I need. To help keep things clean and tidy underneath the desk, I added the FlexiSpot magnetic cable management tray along with their outlet tray mounted underneath the rear of the desk. These two accessories honestly made a huge difference because almost all of the cables are hidden. One of the newer additions to my setup is the Autonomous Ergo Chair Ultra 2. I went with the white color option because it fits perfectly with the overall theme of my setup. My entire office mostly sticks to white, gray, and blue tones with a few black accents mixed in, so this chair blends in really well. I always prefer mesh chairs because they help keep you cool during long editing sessions, and this one has been really comfortable so far. The backrest has a flexible mesh design that kind of molds to your back as you move around, which helps make long sitting sessions a lot more comfortable. The seat itself uses a hybrid design with mesh, memory foam, springs, and additional layers underneath to help distribute the weight more evenly. Whether I'm editing for 4 to 6 hours or gaming at night, it's been comfortable the entire time. There are also a ton of adjustments that you can make to tailor this to you. Now, it's not perfect. I do wish that the armrests locked into place because they can move out of place a little too easily. And I also think that the headrest could use a bit more padding on the outer frame. But overall, this chair has been a huge upgrade for posture and comfort. For my monitors, I'm still running a dual monitor setup. My main display is still the Samsung S8 4K monitor that I bought back in 2022. I primarily use it for editing videos and photos and also watching content. Then on the left side, I'm using a high refresh rate gaming monitor from Pixel. It's a 1440p monitor with a 144Hz refresh rate, and it has been fantastic. Both monitors are mounted on the same EliteTap dual monitor arm that I've been using for over 4 years now, and honestly it's still holding up incredibly well. Mounted on the top of my right monitor, I'm still using the BenQ ScreenBar Halo light. This has honestly become one of those accessories that I can't live without. It lights up my desk perfectly without causing glare on the monitor, and it helps reduce eye fatigue, which has been very helpful for the past 4 years. And the wireless controller makes adjusting the brightness and color temperature super convenient. For audio, I upgraded to the Shure MV7 Plus from the MV7 microphone, and I got it in white this time around. I also upgraded the boom arm to an all-white one to match the microphone, and this one is from Fifine. This setup is very practical for me because it doesn't block my display and I can move this around easily. So if you're looking to upgrade your microphone audio quality without having to spend a ton of money, I would highly recommend the Shure MV7 Plus microphone. It's definitely a great investment. To enhance the audio quality from my microphone even further, I use the Elgato Wave XLR Mk2. This is a USB audio interface that brings Elgato's Wave FX processing to any XLR microphone. So what this is that it processes your voice on the device itself instead of relying on your computer CPU. And you can add effects without there being a delay. It also features clip guard, which helps prevent audio clipping and keeps my recording sounding clean even when I start to speak very loudly. Moving on to my speakers, I'm still using the Audio Engine A2 Plus speakers, which sound fantastic for the small size. I really like these because they fit perfectly underneath my monitor setup while producing great audio. And whenever I really need to focus, especially during editing sessions, I switch over to my Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra headphones. I have a headphone holder mounted underneath the desk to keep them hidden and to save desk space. I also have my gaming headphones under here, and this one is the Sony InZone H9 with the noise cancellation. I've been using this for the past 4 years, and the headrest is starting to peel off, but it still sounds great. I haven't upgraded these because they have been super comfortable. One of the biggest upgrades to my setup is the Insta360 Link 2 webcam, and Insta360 is today's channel sponsor, so a big thanks to Insta360 for sponsoring this video. I ended up picking up the webcam in white to match the theme of my setup, and it looks fantastic. A really cool thing is that this has a built-in gimbal that will automatically track your movements and keep you in the center of the frame at all times, and this can be enabled with a simple hand gesture. So check this out. I just raised my hand, and now this will blink 3 times, and now it's enabled so I can move around, and it's going to be following me wherever I go. And the autofocus on this is super fast, so it keeps me in focus at all times too, so it looks very professional. And this is really handy if you need to move around while you record or you're streaming. So this is a very cool feature because you don't lose out on video quality since you don't need to crop in to reframe. So the Link 2 can record up to 4K at 30 frames per second, and it performs really well even when you don't have good lighting. And that's thanks to the f1.8 aperture. Right now, I only have the ceiling light turned on, and this is what the video quality looks like. There is a bit of noise in the video that you can see, but this still has very usable footage that you can use when you're streaming or when you're joining a conference call. To take advantage of the full features, you do have to download the Insta360 Link controller, and it's very easy to use. Inside there, you can make adjustments to the image quality, and you can also set presets for the camera to move around. And I also have a couple set up, and this is also compatible with the Elgato Stream Deck, so if you have one, you can set up shortcuts on here. And I have a couple that I already set up for mine. And it's very convenient, so it's another way that you can interact with the webcam without having to go into the software. When it comes to peripherals, I'm always testing out new gear, so I don't really stick to one specific ecosystem. Right now I'm using the 75% Black Myth Wukong keyboard from Keychron, and honestly this keyboard not only looks incredible, but it's also been performing really well over the past 6 months that I've been using it. I have the deluxe edition with the TTC bluish white switches, and this thing genuinely feels like a luxury piece sitting on my desk. The build quality on this is excellent. It features a full CNC machine aluminum body, and it's pretty heavy too, so once you place it on your desk it's not going anywhere. So since I have the deluxe edition, I have a couple extra keycaps that I can switch out, which is pretty cool. The great thing about this keyboard is that it sounds super creamy and it's very responsive, which makes typing and editing a really enjoyable experience. The RGB lighting on this is also very vibrant, even though it doesn't pass through the letters and numbers. And this adds a nice touch to the overall setup. Battery life has also been great on here. Even with me using it around 4 to 8 hours a day, I only need to recharge it about every 2 weeks. It also features a 1000 Hz polling rate and uses a 2.4 GHz wireless connection, so everything feels smooth and responsive with a very stable connection. For my mouse, I'm still using the Logitech G502X Plus gaming mouse, and honestly this has been one of my favorite ones so far. Everything feels smooth and responsive, and the button placements feels perfect for my hand, making it really comfortable to use for both gaming and editing. That said, I probably should have gone with the black version instead of the white one, because after using it for over a year, you can definitely start to see some wear and stains on it, especially since I sometimes snack while gaming. The white finish shows everything pretty easily, but despite that, it's still been an amazing mouse and one that I would highly recommend. One of the biggest upgrades to my workflow is the Stream Deck Plus XL. This thing has completely changed the way that I edit videos and manage my overall workflow. It features a total of 36 customizable keys, along with 6 customizable dials that you can configure to launch apps, run commands, control audio, switch scenes while streaming, and a whole lot more. You can also create multiple pages and folders for even more customization. Right now, I currently have 3 different pages set up with several folders inside them depending on what I'm working on. Since I spend a lot of time editing in Adobe Premiere Pro, I set up an entire folder and customized the buttons and dials around my editing workflow. There isn't a direct Premiere Pro plugin in the Stream Deck software for this setup, so I manually configure everything using hotkeys. I even created an entire set of shortcuts for label colors so I can color code my timeline, and this has honestly been a massive time saver during editing. After getting everything dialed in, my editing workflow felt like it was 40% faster compared to before. Out of everything I've added to my desk setup, this has easily been one of the most practical and useful upgrades. Now going over to some of my favorite accessories, I've added a few smaller things that make the setup feel more functional and personalized. I still have the Devoom timeskit display at the center of my desk, and this is a customizable LED display that can show things like the time, weather, notifications, and even a live YouTube subscriber count, and this is what I have it on. It's a neat little gadget to help you personalize your desk a bit more. On each end of the front of the desk, I mounted a small drawer to put smaller items inside them like SD cards, remotes, and other small accessories to help reduce clutter on top of my desk. I also have my SD card reader and CF Express card reader underneath the desk that I mounted using double-sided tape. This keeps my desk looking clean while still making them easy to access. On top of my desk, I have the Pixel Snap wireless charging stand to top up my phone. But I don't use it as often since I just plug in my phone using the USB-C cable next to me since it charges it faster. I also have my favorite bolt action pen from Refine to sign documents, and this has a cool little spinner stand that you can fidget with. Now powering my setup is my custom PC that I built back in 2022, and I have been upgrading parts since then. I mainly use this PC for editing my YouTube videos and editing photos for my side business, and also for gaming. Right now this is running an AMD Ryzen 9 7950X paired with an RTX 5070 along with 128GB of DDR5 RAM. And I bought this RAM back in 2022 before the price skyrocketed like crazy. And all of this is on the ASUS ROG Strix X670E gaming motherboard. So to cool my CPU, I have the Corsair H150i Elite liquid cooler. I also have around 17 TB of storage in this setup because the video files add up extremely fast, especially since I'm recording in 4K and at a high bitrate. And that pretty much wraps up my 2026 desk setup tour. Overall, I tried building a setup that not only looks clean and minimal, but also helps improve my productivity and comfort for those long editing sessions. Thank you for watching and staying until the end of the video. I will leave all the products that I mentioned in the video down below in the description in case you want to check it out. And if you like this type of videos, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more tech related content, and I will talk to you on the next one.